All right, joining us now, we have a lot to get to tonight. The author of the book, The Case Against the Democratic House Impeaching Trump, Harvard professor Alan Dershowitz, and also Fox News correspondent at large, Geraldo Rivera. You know, Geraldo, you were so passionate last night, and you reminded me of the police superintendent. I said last night, I thought that was the best news conference I watched in my career. He was so good in describing the impact when people lie.
First of all, I'm honored to be on with two of my best friends, you and Professor Dershowitz. It's an honor. I thought that the police superintendent in Chicago, Eddie Johnson, saved the reputation of the city, the sane voice to the partisans on both sides in this troubling issue. I think we cannot lose sight of what this is. This is a cynical, selfish, exploitive young man who shamed the history of true victims of race crimes in this country by his cavalier staging of this event. It reminds me a lot of O.J. Simpson, not as serious because no one died, but the mountain of evidence against him and the bizarre nature of the partisans who are continuing to support him in the face of this mountain of evidence is similar. There's no logic to it. It's infuriating. Smollett is going to get his just desserts. I think that people will abandon him eventually, but it is pretty clear from the evidence as we know it that this man sought to exploit the racial tensions in this country for his own financial gain. It's disgusting. It's low down and dirty. I don't think his career... What I would do were I him is just go to a tropical island, chill out for a couple of years, then come back and crawl on your belly and apologize to the American people.
He's now got to be tried, and there might be a federal aspect to this coming not long after. Professor, I'm very consistent. The evidence now mounting and mounting and mounting, and the videos and everything associated with it. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, the hard left is perfectly willing to demand the presumption of innocence, as they should, for Smollett. But they weren't prepared to give a presumption of innocence to the non-existent MAGA hat-wearing assailants. They immediately assumed the story was true, immediately convicted these people in the court of public opinion. And so what we see is the presumption of innocence, like so many other aspects of our life, is selectively employed by the left against the right, sometimes by the right against the left. We have to have a presumption of innocence on both sides, and you in your monologue set that out correctly. You said we have to assume Smollett to be innocent, but look at the evidence. It is certainly mounting. Now, I believe strongly, because I've been a victim myself of this, when somebody deliberately frames somebody and deliberately makes up a false report of anything, that person must go to jail. The integrity of the system demands that deliberate false reporters, not if you made an act, not if you made a mistake, an honest mistake, but deliberate false reporters must go to jail. You know, the Bible says that if you testify falsely against somebody, you get the penalty that that person would have gotten
one of the
had
Big
he
Ten,
been
Professor.
guilty. And if you apply that here, you would see that this guy should get the penalty that the assailants would have gotten if they were real and existed.
But what is really...
I really am worried, though, Professor, and I don't want Geraldo to weigh in. There really are racist, vile, vicious racists in this country. There are horrible people that would hurt innocent people because of their sexual orientation. Look at a congresswoman that is a virulent anti-Semite that sits on a foreign affairs committee still. Now, that's unacceptable to me, Professor.
Unbelievable. It's not acceptable
it's outrageous
to me. And, you know, when you hear somebody say that the MAGA hat is a trigger, that is such a phony excuse. For some people, the Star of David is a trigger. For some people, the cross is a trigger. For some people, seeing a gay couple together or an interracial couple is a trigger.
Mind your own business.
We don't accept people who are racist based on triggers that they don't like. That's just wrong.
And what is unforgivable is all of the smart people who are blind to the evidence because it fits their political narrative to think that the original fake story was true. They hate Trump so much that they're seeking to justify even this absolutely impossible story.
All right, amazing commentary from both of you.
And today it's used against them. Tomorrow it could be used against you.
True. You're right, 100%. Very well said, both of you. Thank you.